All right, welcome back, everyone. Today, for the first time in quite some time, I have a co-host again with Taryn, the OG from the Download Illuvium News. There are some massive new updates coming to Illuvium. The arena is getting some huge quality of life improvements, and there is a huge announcement regarding the future of the entire Illuvium universe that is right on the horizon. So we're going to talk about that a little bit. Not to mention, there have been tournaments running every single week for the Illuvium Gauntlet, sponsored by Illuvium, and G-Shock partnership just kicked off. There's a lot to be excited about, but really, I'm mostly focused on some of these recent updates that should be coming to the Illuvium Arena. I think even as early as tomorrow, within 24 hours or so from now, potentially, which would be really, really exciting. So let's jump into it. How you going today, man? What's been happening with you? You took a week off work. Do you want to tell us about that?
2 weeks. I think it's pretty well known. I had a kid, so that's been fun. Took 2 weeks off. Came back in Wednesday of this week, so just catching up with everything with the Casio stuff. That was good fun. Hopped onto the live stream, and just catching up and looking forward to everything else that's coming. I know it feels like it's been a slow couple of months, weeks. I think 2025. I'm very very excited. I know that Kieran's going to be doing a town hall soonish. Hasn't been announced yet. I think we're waiting for that announcement. And once that comes up, Town Hall's coming. I think the direction for 2025 is going to be good. I think the direction for Illuvium is solid. I have faith. I have faith that things are going. I mean, we'll talk about it as we go into some of these points. But yeah, I'm glad to be back and looking forward to what's coming.
Yeah, and I will just quickly say a big thank you to Rich and the rest of the Illuvium team, because obviously TSG is my main point of contact when it comes to creator Illuvium related things. And the team did really well covering that sort of stuff in Taryn's absence. It was a little bit slower than usual and stuff, obviously, because Taryn has a lot of duties that need to get done day to day. But it was really good that they stepped up and helped out. Now, I'm glad you're back, not going to lie, but I'm also glad you had some time off. I think everyone needs some time off every now and then. Even I'm keen on some. I'm going to have like a tiny bit over Christmas, but I'm still working over Christmas at my day job. So there's that. But
the trick is have a child, man. Have a child that forces you to take some time off.
Yeah, I guess, and that's the plan there. Well, I'll just have a child every 9 months and just take as maximum amount of time as I can away from work.
Pretty much.
Yeah, that's the play. All right, let's jump into it. We don't have too much news today, which is a first. Normally we have at least like 3 to 4 announcements. Today we just have the 2, and they're basically the same thing. We got the Illuvium G-Shock details. So we got the everything you need to know and the buyer's guide, as well as the sale landing page, which was really good. The buyer's guide, no, I don't think that's the buyer's guide. This one's the buyer's guide. The buyer's guide in particular was really good. It tells you everything that was there. It tells you all the different rewards and all the different Illuvitas that are available, their rarities and stuff like that. And then the everything you needed to know told you what rewards you would get. You get these rewards right here. The G-Shock drone skin for 5, the Ranger skin for 10, Battleboard skin for 15, and the exclusive watch for 20 discs. I'm going for that very, very soon. I'm going to go grab those discs. Very looking forward to it.
Yeah, I've got that one. I might have 2 battle boards. I'm actually not entirely sure. You say you haven't got the watch yet, so I'm assuming you haven't opened that many discs. Is that right?
I bought 1 G-Shock disc on the day of, and I'm going to buy 20 tonight.
Nice.
And then the stream tomorrow is when I'll open them. I won't actually open them tonight. Oh, well,
nice.
Only open some of them because I'm going to give 10 of them away.
Hopefully. Nice.
As long as everything's on time, yes.
Yeah. Trying to figure all of that out. In terms of the album, have you filled out much of the album or not too much just yet?
For Wave 3, yeah, I did all the auto
sleeving. No, not Wave 3, Casio.
Oh, no, I only have one G-Shock Illuvita.
Right, yeah. Because I'm missing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8. I haven't got any of the foes. I need 2 Lynxes, 1 Apon, and the Arcos that I want. I really want that Omega Arcos. If I can somehow get a hollow Omega Arcos, I think that's going to be my one. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see how it is. But
I got one of the Arcoses. What's Omega Arcos?
The one with the green kind of flames in the eye.
The luminescent one.
Yep.
I don't think that's the one I got. I think I got the other one.
Yeah, because there's the standard one, the suspicious one, and then the Omega one. And I really, really want the Omega one. I think that's the one I want to have for my PFP. If I can get that hollow, I might even just check it.
It
I'm
is
gonna check
such
it
a good
right now.
Illuvitar.
It's
It is
so
really, really
sick,
good.
bro. It's so sick.
Anything new for Overworld next week, Pablo? I don't think so. That announcement will definitely be regarding Overworld, which will hopefully come next week, but no updates or anything that I know of, unless you know if there's something, but I don't think so.
Damn! There's one hollow Omega Arcos, and that's going for $1,000. I'm definitely not buying that. God damn!
Groninger, you said a breakdown of the money you spend and the revenue you got. Are you talking about me personally, Illuvium, or is there something else? I'd love to know. So,
In terms of the overall stuff, yeah, like Scoriox mentioned, there's going to be an announcement. I think that's going to be quite cool. I think the future of Overworld is super, super bright. I think there are a couple of things that we need to nail 100%. But I think compared to what we have right now, it reminds me. I don't know, Scarx. Maybe you can jump in here as well. But it reminds me of the feeling that I got when I first found out about Illuvium, and when everyone was kind of talking about it and what it could be, and it feels that kind of way again. And I think it's much better than where we were before, considering where we are with all the assets and where we are now. So I think there are things that we need to be aware of as we go into that direction. But I won't say too much now, until the announcement happens. But yeah, I'm getting tingles in my jellies of that feeling of when we first came into it. I don't know if that's a similar thing to you, Skyrox, but that's kind of where I'm at.
Yeah, I'm getting elements of that. I think it's hard. It's hard without a time horizon, right? Like at this point, the announcement I don't think has anything regarding time embedded in it at all or anything like that. But the time is the big thing. Like when we first came to the project, it was like, okay, there's the full expectation that's going to take a couple of years to build and stuff like that. And it kind of hurts to if it kind of goes into that state again. It's like, how many years would this take to build, stuff like that. There's a little bit of that, but like you said, we have a lot of the assets, we know a lot of the stuff now and things like that, and so it's a little bit different again. So it doesn't quite hit the feeling the exact same way because of that reason, but in a general sense it definitely does. I think more content and new content is what excites me the most about Illuvium. And now in my head, that's always been things like adding in extra alluvials and getting set 2 started and stuff like that really excites me. Like with Pokemon, the next thing you want to see is what new Pokemon are getting added in 2 years time. Like that's the biggest moment you're looking forward to, even as you're playing the game that just released. You know, you're always like, what's next, you know?
Yeah.
And that's what I've always been excited for Illuvium. And I think this announcement, it seems like it's really going to capture a lot of that, which is very exciting for me. And I think I want to see more of that sort of thing. Like even after this is said and done, I want to be like, in 2 months, they're like, oh, here's 2 alluvials we're looking at working on. And they might take a while to build, but I would love like the initial concepting stage of alluvials, because we already used to get that.
Yeah, you know? Yeah. When Grant was here, the leaks. I mean, that's something that I'll bring up. I'm not sure if Roger is watching. He usually does watch. But I think something like that would be cool, right? Kind of getting back into, hey, we're working on these. Like, I know we've seen Chama. I think that's the
Kama, yeah.
Kama, yeah. So I think more stuff like that would be quite cool. But yeah, like I said, I think what you mentioned, is it going to take a while to do again? Even if that is the case, I think the fact that we have a Gauntlet and the goal is to get that polished and it's as polished as possible, as quickly as possible. So I think even if there is a little bit of a wait, there is still something in that IP to hold us. And like you say, maybe there are new things that come here and there. I'm more positive than I am negative, of course. Like it's like I said, I am very, very excited for 2025. I think we're heading in the right direction.
Yeah, I'm really, really looking forward to it. I am looking forward to when Gauntlet is proper full setup and everything, especially when it's optimized. I'm going to try that on my Steam Deck tonight and see how it runs. And if it runs well, I can play all the time now because I've got a portable device that I can bring with me on the go, and I can just play the arena whenever. It'd be so funny because like a lot of people are online playing when I'm like on my lunch break at work, and like it would be so funny to whip out my Steam Deck and play at work. That would be like, it's a new breakthrough in gaming. Let's put it that way. But no, I just kind of feel like I've had a lot of trouble playing video games in the past 6 to 12 months because I've been so busy with everything and stuff like that. but I just feel like I'm claiming so much time back with this Steam Deck, and I'm hoping I am. I don't know yet. I haven't really turned it on properly yet, but I'm just kind of hoping I'm claiming a lot of that freedom back, and I'm excited to get stuck into things. I started playing Path of Exile 2 the other day. I absolutely love it. Just, so much freshness here. Okay.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So the next announcement we had was pretty much the same thing, just when it went live. It gave a little bit of breakdown of the rewards and things like that. What's new for Wave 3? Daily Mega Disc giveaways through the social sharing feature, which is really cool. When you open a disc, you can click a little button to share it to Twitter and stuff like that, which is really fun. Quality of life improvements, max purchase option to purchase spending every ETH available, which is really cool. Opening listed discs is now available, so it's great. It's really easy to miss these sorts of things, but the team is always upgrading systems like all the time. And just like when they put in like stats and filtering by stats on the Illuvidex, they didn't even tell anyone. Like this sort of stuff is getting added all the time to all the different products. So it's really funny. Okay, after that, we've got a leak. I'm going to let this load for a second, and then I'll open it up, and hopefully it works okay. We always have trouble when I go full screen on them. Ready? You can tell that he's showing off his auto attack because they'll probably have some text or something being like, attacks 3 times, does a wave of damage or something or whatever it is. But absolutely love to see this sort of leak. And we have another one as well. This one doesn't have sound yet.
Mm-hmm.
He's Phantom Inferno. It's not working. I love how Mozart's just sitting there at the front.
Yeah, I mean Dimitri's been working on these, and I think Llama's going to get involved as well. So I'm sure they're going to be pumping out some cool stuff. Like I said, I'm going to keep saying this. I think 2025. I think when Kieran starts doing these town halls and it starts I'm very, very excited for the next couple of weeks leading up to 2025.
It's really, really nice. I think the background's a little bit dull. I'm assuming they're going to add a sky and stuff in there. I think it's a kind of a cool vibe, but it's kind of hard to look at in a certain sense as well. But they're definitely the early phases of something that's really great and going to be really interesting for Illuvium. And it's the sort of thing that really like you come into it, and if you're ever telling people you're AAA, it's very quick for them to notice that it's not. You know, if it's not AAA, but this sort of stuff is what makes someone go, okay, that is not just an AI generated game, for example, you know, because that sort of stuff's going to start popping up everywhere. And this sort of thing really sets itself apart. Okay. The next one I've got, because we don't have too much information this week, we got some towards the end, but next one I've got is from Johnny here, which actually showed off a bunch of his Illuvitar pulls. You pull a Holo Doka, Holo Silly G-Shock Foe. Bet you're jealous of that, Taryn. Holo G-Shock Arcos. We got...
Wait, go back to that? Go back to that? Oh, it's just the standard one.
Yeah, it's just the standard one. Supercharged G-Shock Exalted Doka.
That's
very, very cool. Did we not have a Doka or one of the other promo discs?
I forget.
Holo G-Shock Greater Apon. Very, very nice. We've also got some from Mega Ratty. He's got the G-Shock Stoic Links and the Stoic Links with the Tier 5 background. Very sweet. We got some more here. Johnny also got he was showing the power. 5,000 power for an Illuvitar is insane, especially when you don't have to bond it. That's huge for his album. I need one of them. Okay, so the next one I've got here is Johnny says that any of the top MMOs would work, and yes, they took years to build and typically a few more years post-release of organic growth before they matured to be good. Games take time to mature and become really good, and any of the games you're seeing nowadays that come out as instant successes, have an existing community they've built on, which is literally the definition of taking time to build and grow and things like that. But really, Johnny says something that I think we can all agree with at this point, where you have to start with a good game, not players will make lots of money. I think that is going to be the focus of the overworld moving forward. And I'm really looking forward to that. Viper says his thesis is the lack of interest in wanting to speculate on assets obtained in the overworld is the main reason the current gameplay loop of playing to trade, sell, buy is not really kind of working in the overworld right now. Like asset prices are down a bit and stuff like that. It's a little bit hard to encourage people to go and play, which is fair. I mean, I kind of get it. But like quality of life features for buying efficiently on Illuvidex will help a lot and things like that. And I think there's some good points that we really need more of those MMO elements, and we also need more of those reasons to have alluvials that isn't necessarily just the Gauntlet. I think Leviathan will go a long way, but needing them in the overworld and needing lots of them in the overworld are two different things. Like, for example, you can go out and capture a Rampfire, Malura, and maybe like a Phosphorus. And now you basically don't need any more alluvials. You can win every battle with that no matter what. But if you had like a revolving door of energy or something, that could be really interesting. Like, if your Rampfire gets knocked out, if it's like alluvial combat and everything exists, and your Rampfire gets knocked out in combat, for example, maybe its energy goes to 0 and you need to wait 24 hours before you can use it in the overworld again. Like, obviously, make it really chill, don't overdo it. But these sorts of systems could make it interesting where now I need to own 2 or 3 Rampfires if I really like that alluvial, which could help, but I don't know.
I disagree with that. I think simplicity, just make the game good, man. Like
yeah, that comes first, obviously. But
there's too many things of trying to add these mechanics that are just complicated. Like, just make the game good and simple. And I think there are things that need to be considered. Like, but I think they are. I think they are. Well, I'm not going to talk about it in depth right now. But the main focus is just to make a good game with those things in mind. But that should not be the focus. That should not be the number one thing that we work around. It should be the good game that gets worked around as the foundation, the core, the nucleus, not that issue that we're trying to solve.
Yeah,
so
outside of Gauntlet, we need like a core gameplay loop that's simply fun, and then build on top of that. And skill trees. Correct. We need skill trees.
Again, like even that, I disagree with that. I think what is the core gameplay loop, and do skill trees? And I'm not saying we are or aren't. I'm just saying, like, we're having a hypothetical discussion here. It's what is the core gameplay loop? Does skill trees benefit and add value to that experience? If it does, yeah, that makes complete sense. If it takes away from it, maybe we get rid of it. But again, it's what is the core gameplay loop, and then work backwards from there on what mechanics add to that, rather than come up with the mechanics. Oh, we need a skill tree loop. Now, how do we fit this into this? Like, that's not the right way to go about it.
Well, maybe skill trees is too specific, but we need like literally any sort of gameplay mechanic or loop that gives us a sense of progression.
Correct. And I'm being very specific about the gate, like the skill tree. What I mean is that you need a gameplay loop, and then from there you go back and figure out what mechanics can be used, like a skill tree, or what progression mechanic can be used. But that's the way that you'd want to fit it in. You figure out the loop that you want to create, the feeling that you want to create in the player, and then you go into the mechanic. Does this mechanic achieve that emotion that you're trying to bring out in people, I guess? Like, I've spoken to you about this a lot because I have done a little bit of research and studying into game design, and there's something called the MDA method, and that's mechanics, dynamics, and aesthetic. And a perfect example of that is, so mechanics are the rules of the game, or the restrictions. The dynamics is how that makes the player act because of those restrictions, and aesthetic is how the player feels because of those actions. And the example that I always use is if you look at something like Doom. I've never played it, but I've watched it here and there. And so the aesthetic of Doom, when you look at it and see it, you want to feel mad powerful. You want to feel super aggressive. You want to feel like you control everything. So how do they do that? They apply the mechanic that your enemies actually run away from you or run towards you. So that way you're constantly either chasing them or meeting them bang on.
Like
so
Pac-Man.
You're constantly in combat. So what that does, so that's the mechanic. And the dynamic is that you need to be chasing after them to feel super powerful, or you're facing them dead on. So that means that there's a lot of the combat stuff. And so the aesthetic achieves that emotion that they want. So that's how we need to think about it: is what is the gameplay loop? What is the aesthetic? Do we want, I don't know, like a super difficult game like Elden Ring, where we have the feeling of pure. Man, my words are missing me right now. But when you feel super exuberant about something and you feel like, oh man, I just did it. I beat this thing. So how do we do that? So what are the mechanics? We maybe include one hit kills. So that way, when you do get past it, you get that feeling. And it's just an extreme example. But that's the way that we need to think about it.
Yeah, I really hear what you're saying. I think it has an exciting future. There's a really good question though in the chat from Travis where he says we need multiplayer, and I've been meaning to ask you this one for a while. Is I know that everyone's publicly talked about like the Overworld's getting revamped at some point and stuff like that. Do you think we're going to get multiplayer and combat before all of that sort of stuff? Are we going to get it in the near future or no?
So I need to be very careful with what I say here. What we're going to see is we are going to get access to those features. Maybe not in the way that we're expecting them, but they will be tested as they will be a part of the thing that we're working on, and maybe a couple of things on the side that are happening. I know Kieran's mentioned Breach a couple of times now, so we will see that kind of stuff in a way that might not be the thing that it might not be the way that you're imagining it. But in the long term, absolutely, we will get that for the direction that we are going in. Just it might not in the short term, it might not be what you're expecting.
All right, easy as. Okay, so let's jump into this next one. Kieran says attention beyond players. I don't know why he didn't put this in the announcements channel, but I guess he didn't. Illuvidata's Beyond integration has been built using the legacy Illuvial master code. It's still a work in progress. It allows you to explore key features, estimating the value of your collection and individual Illuvitas, and checking the rarity details for each Illuvitar. They've been working, I know Scrubs and the team has been working really hard to get all this integrated. Now, thankfully, they can get back onto the tournaments platform, which I want them to get integrated, which is quite funny being an old member of Illuvial Master. So, but yeah, so no, it's really great to see this there. The community really came to bat for this. They really wanted to see this integrated. So I'm glad it's done. It's ready. You can go on the Illuvidata website and check it out for yourself. Maybe we can quickly test it out, actually.
You haven't tested it out yet?
No, I've been meaning to.
Yeah, I tested it out. The Adorius I pulled in the launch party, the G-Shock launch party is pretty solid. Pretty solid.
Where do I go?
Market.
Yep.
And you can just chuck in your address there.
I don't know what my address is. Okay.
No, it's cool. It's cool. It does remind me a little bit of Illuvial Master. I think there's some things that need to be done still, but yeah.
Can I filter by like G-Shock?
You should be able to. Promo collection.
No G-Shock.
They don't have G-Shock. That's so funny.
But it should be pretty recent. Here we go.
Yeah.
Wave rank 974 out of 225. Rarity score rank 292,000 out of 436. 436 out of 700k. Very cool. What's one of my more rare Illuvatars? I've got this Adore. It's worth $100. Top 0.14%, 688,000 rarity score. There's only one exact match. I should not have bonded that.
It says in it said my Adorius is like what 1,500 or something. I was like, God. Oh, it might have been 500.
Does it have a rare background? That's probably part of it.
No. It's just that hex background.
All right, this one here is worth $2, but it's top 15%. There you go. Yeah. Very, very cool. Okay, so yeah, great. It's not perfect. Some of the it's not particularly clear what some of these numbers mean and stuff like that. But because we had a little info thing, so you could hover over it and see what it was talking about and stuff like that on Illuvium Master. I hope that gets integrated at some point. But besides that, looks really, really good. So really happy with the Illuvidata team there. So congrats, and you guys can check that out if you want. Put that there. Okay. So the next thing is Kieran says that as soon as the game is stable and has all of the quality of life and new features, we will start working on the mobile version. I don't need it, buddy. I got a Steam Deck. But no, great to see that the mobile version is going to be coming. And this announcement has been going around everywhere. People's got this screenshot and are just sending it like every 5 minutes in Gen Chat. It's actually really funny. But Kieran says next week, a lot of the uncertainty around the overworld will go away. He's very pumped. And like, I don't know if he's going to mention this, but I should, because people take this sort of stuff really lightly. Where in the past, sure, I mean, some team members have just come up with stuff and started adding things and things like that. But with this sort of thing, they've been taking it really seriously, like really, really seriously. Kieran has gotten feedback and talked to, I think, over 10 people internally on the team, like higher ups. And he's talked to the council as well and getting all our feedback and stuff as well. Like, it's going through so many people to make sure everyone agrees, everyone's on the same page, and there's an understanding of what should be said and stuff like that. So it's a serious thing, and I think him taking it seriously is important to recognize. I think it's good. Okay,
I'm very excited. I'm very excited to see. Like, I think you are always going to have the naysayers, and I think it's warranted. But I do think we're in a much better. Again, next year's going to be a fun one. I'm very, very much looking forward.
2025 is going to be undoubtedly huge. Okay. The next thing we've got is Kieran pulled a disc and it had a bubbling Dual F in it.
Nice.
For anyone who doesn't have the background lore to this, Kieran was complaining after he opened probably hundreds and hundreds of megadiscs. He still didn't pull a Dual F or a Dorius. And so he's probably very happy he finally got his Dual F. And he also pulled a Scoriox. I watched freaking Storming's highlight reel on all his games.
He got a hollow blazing Scoriox.
Yeah, he got the hollow blazing Scoriox that I want, but he pulled 5 Scoriox overall in that entire stream for some reason. That's ridiculous in itself, but very, very funny. Half of them were wicked. Actually, I really want blazing Scoriox. I would rather have a blazing Scoriox than a hollow Scoriox, but I want the hollow blazing for sure.
That's the best that you can get. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh no, it's not. You've got the Duelif. The Duelif and the Dorius are the best.
Oh yeah.
I don't know why I always think the Scoriox is tier 5. I don't know why I think that.
Yeah, Kieran does that too. It's actually really funny.
Yeah. It should be.
Okay.
It very much should be.
So, Roger, Nick, and some others had a big discussion on. Let me pull it up. Sorry, had a big discussion on AI art in video games, and I think this sort of stuff's really interesting, especially when you don't use AI art in your day-to-day work. I don't use it to the same extent that these guys, some of them, or Roger might, but I use AI image editing all day, every day for my day job. And so I understand its capabilities and what it can do quite well. But really what Roger said here is that AI tools for artists at the moment can't design. And that's that's an important distinction. They can generate imagery, but they cannot design imagery. You have next to no control of what it generates if it's used to show or express an idea to other artists. A 25-second sketch is going to give the other person a better context of the idea and work they will have than a rendered image. You can very quickly make fantastical images, but none of it was your idea or creation. You have no idea why it looks the way it looks. It's just random, and I'm sure it's going to change in the future. But at the moment, it's not particularly... It's not useful as an end product, at least.
It's nowhere close. It's nowhere close. It's fine if you want to do something like a augment image or something like that for a card, cards and stuff, that it's maybe doable. But in terms of videos, in terms of renders, it's just nowhere close to being ready.
See, control is, I think, the big key word there, where you have no control over the image it generates. And people can argue against that, and they could say, okay, once you have one image, you have pretty good control over the similarity to that image for future images and stuff. And so you've got a level of control there, but it's the initial concept, the initial art, the initial direction that you cannot control. No, there's not really any zero topics there, I don't think. Blueprints and Megacities are definitely quite delayed, but they should be coming out very, very soon, sometime in December for sure. Like, if they're not coming out in December, something's gone horribly wrong. But they are in testing. I believe they're actually complete. We learned this in council. I think they're all complete. They're just going through testing at the moment. Once some of the testing environments are taken up by Beyond and things like that, I think. But once they go through testing, they should be released. So very, very close. I'm looking forward to it because I started getting Scoriox blueprints.
Nice.
Okay. The next one is Roger got a really neat pull here. He got a Holo G-Shock Arcos. Absolutely love it. There's a lot of that going around apparently. And the next thing is we've got a community discussion that I thought was really interesting. Viper says Viper's made a post on an idea on how to make ownership matter in Gauntlet while not being negatively impacting gameplay. He's got quite a detailed thing here. I recommend you guys go in and have a look. 20 upvotes to 10 downvotes. I think so. Basically, what he says is he suggests, alongside everything, kind of that basically just if I own a Ramfire, I earn X when I'm doing whatever on the leaderboards. It doesn't even matter if I use it in the match and stuff like that. It's more or less like how you stake ILV tokens for Rev Deers. He's kind of arguing you essentially stake alluvials for Rev Deers, and in a certain, not like literal Rev Deers, but in a certain sense, the different revenues for competitive gameplay and stuff like that.
It's I don't hate the idea. A multiplier. Like if you're in the ranked leaderboards and you have X amount of Dark Hollows, you get a 2x multiplier or something. Like,
Yeah, so I don't hate the idea in a general sense. And I think there are definitely ways to apply this into the future of our competitive scene and stuff like that. A lot of the downvotes are coming from people saying like there's too many or him saying we should remove Leviathan in replacement for this, and people like, no, leave Leviathan, have both or whatever it is. And it's just a lot of the downvotes and stuff like that are arguments around the best way to implement it, but not necessarily that it's a bad idea overall. So I think it's really interesting. If you want to join the discussion, go jump into it. I think you should. But yeah, so now we'll get to some of the content. I'm going to refresh this. Sweet. Okay. The first one is Storming did a huge G-Shock disc opening stream. And he put a little highlight reel on Twitter. We're going to watch these first pull or two.
Opa!
Fixed it after that first day. Huge Scoriox definitely. But that's like so exciting at that point because then you're like, oh shit, the G-Shock is the red one.
Yeah.
So it's like probably not an Apon or a Doga, or if it is, it's probably Holo. And so that's really hype.
Porra, legal. Esse é bom pra caralho.
G-Shock Flare. So absolutely crazy. He got some great pulls on that stream. I hear the chat loved it. It was a lot of fun. And he pulled the Holo Blazing Scoriox at some point too. Really great. There's like 5 Scoriox pulls in this whole video, which is absolutely mental. But yeah.
Yeah, nuts.
Oh, he tagged me. I didn't even notice that. That's so funny. Okay. I don't know, maybe that's why I clicked on it in the first place. I can't remember. Okay, so the next one is from DJ Sam Withers, the famous guy from Love Island. He says that coming this week and next week, there's an arena patch update. Next week, new features for arena, a new UI for Gauntlet, skin loadouts, and G-Shock battle board will most likely to be used by the end of the week. Really excited for whatever this arena patch looks like. I'm very excited to see because the game's really fun right now, but every time they refresh the balance a little bit, it's even more fun. I can't wait.
I want the G-Shock battle board. I just want the battle board. I just want to play on the battle board.
It's so good. I was at first I dismissed it a little bit because I kind of hoped it was a watch face, but then or like an analog watch face because battle boards can be quite circular. But then I saw that it was actually on the literal face of the physical watch when you zoom out. I didn't even notice that when I first saw the battle board, but now I'm like,
sick.
That's fucking lit. That is so cool.
So sick.
The next one we've got is from Paz. I don't know if you saw this video.
Yeah, dude, it's so funny, man.
I loved it. It's so funny.
Paz has been killing it, man. I'll just say this real quick. In terms of like the Alliance program and stuff, like he's been absolutely dominating. So shout out to Paz and the hard work that he's doing with like the tournaments and stuff like that as well. So it's been cool to see.
It's not easy. I'm glad to see him like really pushing to improve Illuvium and pushing his content as well, like trying new things and trying to like I don't know, break out of your comfort zone and stuff like that. But yeah, we'll watch like 5 seconds of this, but you guys have to go and watch this whole video. I'm going to drop it in the chat. It is so much fun. Don't forget to drop it a like as well. I'll drop it a like. I have many accounts, so I think I already, probably that's 2 likes from me.
Making waves. Before we go to Tom for more details on site, let's take a look at the official trailer.
The monotone like look and like he just looks so creepy in a sense. It's so funny.
He calls the other person. He calls his other version Tom. I wonder if that's his real name. I actually don't know if that's his real name. Like,
I always assumed Paz was short for something.
Oh yeah, it is. It's Patrick. It's Patrick. So I don't know where he's getting Tom from.
Maybe it's his middle name, or maybe it's just like. I could see that as like a weather person called Tom. I think that makes sense. I get that.
Just funny as hell.
Okay.
But, all right,
the other one I've got is actually from Crypto Quick Chat. All right. And he has been doing something really, really cool. Something I wish I had the fucking skills to do, but I do not. He's been painting. What does he call it? He calls it Wrinkle. He's been painting Wrinkle the Tatterpy. And so he's getting into it, doing it on stream.
That's really great. And it's big as well. That's so sick.
Yeah, I can't remember the story exactly. I think he's in the chat right now, so he might tell us. But I believe Roger 3D printed this and sent it to him. And so he's been working on painting it. I think he's done a part 2. I'm not sure if part 2 is live. I think he's done a part 2. And part 3, I'm assuming, is coming soon. He usually tries to stream it after the download. He's had some technical difficulties. But yeah, definitely go and check out his channel. I'll drop it in the chat. Go and check out our channel. Subscribe. Watch the part 1 and the part 2, even in the background or whatever. Play some music as well or something. I don't know. But yeah, I cannot wait to see when it's finished. It's going to be awesome. And it's going to blow up Illuvium Twitter too. That's for sure. It's going to be a lot of fun. All right. So the next one I've got is that Phantom is hosting another tournament this weekend. I've got some Christmas catch-ups with family and stuff. Otherwise, I would be participating myself. But unfortunately, I cannot. It is this weekend, same time as last week. Definitely go and check that out. Dreamer Esports, the same time as last week. They had it as well, and they have another one this week as well. So if you want to play in the Dreamer Esports one, go do that. I would play that one, but I have anniversary stuff instead. So busy weekend for me, but hopefully the tournaments come back next week and I can participate and get top 8 again and maybe even win. I don't know. Actually, you weren't around when this happened. Did you see that I made the top 8 in one of the tournaments?
I saw it. I didn't watch it. I think that might have been the day that my kid got here or something. But yeah, no, I did see that. I didn't watch it though. But no, really, really cool. Really, really cool.
Everyone was very surprised that I made it to the top 8. Like just because I don't have the time to participate in tournaments or I'm hosting them myself doesn't mean I'm terrible at the game. But I'm not.
I'm very excited, man. I told Paz that I'm going to try and make it an effort because I'm trying to help behind the scenes with the esports stuff. And we're trying to keep it very low key and just inside the community for now. But what I told Paz that I'm going to be helping him commentate tomorrow, so I can actually be there firsthand, like actually kind of get the vibe and see, kind of get used to who the top players are. I know Slicks is doing well. I know Foxbird's doing well, but I want to see them in action. So I want to try and make it more of a point to actually be there for these tournaments. So very, very excited.
Yeah, Slicks is so good. Oh my god.
It's so insane. Yeah, he's
like and I thought he was like one trick. Like he was using the same comps all the time in my tournament, and then he was using pretty standard comps, pretty consistent comps throughout the course of Paz's tournament. But then in the grand final, he starts using all these different comps instead because people are trying to block him out, and he's just adapting so well. And I wasn't sure if he was going to because he's just really good at knowing exactly what to do, like a little bit methodically. But no, he's an insanely good player. And Fox Spirit, I never know what they're freaking building, but for some reason they just always do well. I don't understand their gameplay at all personally, but
you know who I miss, man. I miss S-Jud. I feel like I'd love to see him compete.
I don't know if you're kidding.
No, absolutely. I don't care.
But no, it's been a lot of fun. I'm just really excited for spectator mode. I know it's not coming just yet, but I'm just holding out for that, honestly, man. But no, I'm keen for these updates too. Hopefully they make the game a bit more stable and stuff. I know some people have some issues every now and then, but yeah, I'm looking forward to it. So is there anything else? And yeah, Crypto Quick Chat said in chat that part 2 is tonight, so you'll probably start right after this. So is there anything else you want to talk about before we wrap this one up, man?
Not much. I think I don't know if we're gonna have this next week or not. But if we do, I'm pretty sure the announcement should be out by then. I think it should be a pretty fun conversation to have.
If the announcement's out, we'll have it. If it's not, then I might skip a week. I'm a little bit tired, and I'm trying to play a little bit catch up. I want to get a lot of content done next week, so I might play
More time with my child. I'm not even gonna argue that.
If the announcement's out, maybe we can do a special episode just for the announcement, and that's it for the download. I don't know. All right.
Yeah. We can squeeze that in at some point randomly throughout the week.
Yeah, that would be sweet. All right. Have a good one, everyone. And with that, the download is complete.